Welcome to TD's Pokemon Lair. I'm TD and this is Lair. Today we're unboxing a box of 10 Pokemon cards I sent to PSA. Got them back in this box, professionally packaged. Then get them out of here and we'll see what grades I got. Alright, let's go. We are looking at a 2000 Pokemon Gym Challenge Lieutenant Surge's Rattata, a first edition, the number 85 card of the set. I like the graphics of this card. They're very clean. There's no creases, bends, or scratches on the surface of the card. Our centering from left to right, I think is slightly towards the right. Our centering from top to bottom, I think is within the tolerances. Looking at our corners and our edges, I do not see any damage there at all. The back of the card is very clean. There's no scratches, creases, or bends on the surface. Looking at our centering from top to bottom, I think that's within the tolerance. Our centering from left to right looks a little towards the left. Looking at our corners and our edges, there is a speck of damage on that lower right corner. And this Rattata will get a grade of Mint 9. I like it. We have a 2000 Pokemon Gym Challenge Lieutenant Surge's Voltorb, a first edition, the number 86 card of this set. Looking at the front of this card, it's very vibrant. There's no scratches, creases, or bends. Our centering from top to bottom and left to right, I think, is all within the tolerances. Looking at our corners and our edges, I do not see any damage there at all. As we look at the back of the card, our centering from left to right, I think, is slightly towards the right. Our centering from top to bottom looks a little towards the top. Our surface looks very clean. There's no scratches, creases, or bends. When we get to our corners and our edges, the upper right corner has some slight damage, and there's a little speck of damage down that right edge. And that's going to get us a grade of Mint 9. That's a little better than I thought I'd get. You're looking at a 2000 Pokemon Gym Challenge Misty's Horsea, a first edition, the number 7 card. Looking at the front of this card, it looks very clean. I like the surface. It's free of any creases, bends, or scratches. Our centering from top to bottom, I think, is within the tolerance. Our centering from left to right looks slightly towards the left. And looking for any damage on our corners or edges, I did not find any. Let's look at the back, and we'll start with the surface. It is free of any creases, bends, or scratches. It looks very awesome. Looking at our centering from left to right, I think it's slightly towards the left. Centering from top to bottom, I think is within the tolerances. Looking at our corners and our edges, they actually look pretty darn clean. And we'll get a grade of near Mint 8. Wow. I didn't think the centering was off that bad, but that's the only thing I saw. We're looking at a 2000 Pokemon Gym Challenge Misty's Magikarp, a first edition, the number 88 card of this set. Looking at the front of this card, the graphics are very bright. I don't see any damage like creases, bends, or scratches on the surface. Looking at our centering from top to bottom and left to right, I think those are all within the tolerances. Looking at our corners and our edges, I do not see any damage that will affect a grade. The back of the card looks just as good as the front. Our centering from top to bottom and left to right, I do not see any problems with that. I think those within the tolerance. Our surface is free of any creases, bends, scratches, or any other damage to the graphics. Looking at our corners and our edges, they're pretty darn clean also. Pretty excited to see the grade, and it is a Gym Mint 10. Awesome. That's an awesome grade. Let's check out this 2000 Pokemon Gym Challenge Misty's Poliwag, a first edition, the number 89 card of the set. Looking at the front of this card, it's very clean. I like the surface. There's no creases, bends, or scratches. Our centering from left to right is towards the left quite a bit. Centering from top to bottom looks a little towards the top. And looking for corners and edges damage, I do not see any. Let's look at the back of the card and check out our surface. I do not see any damage like creases, bends, or scratches. Our centering from left to right, I think, is within the tolerance. Centering from top to bottom looks a little bit towards the top. Looking at any damage for our corners and our edges, I think there's some slight damage on that lower left corner. And we'll receive a grade of near Mint 8. That's not too bad, but I think it could have been better. The card is a 2000 Pokemon Gym Challenge Misty's Psyduck, a first edition, the number 90 card of the set. Looking at the front of this card, Psyduck's graphics are very bright. There's no scratches, creases, or bends on the surface of this card. Looking at our centering from left to right, it's towards the left a little bit, and centering from top to bottom, I think it's towards the top a little bit. And the corners and our edges will look really clean and free of any damage. The back of the card is free of any damage like creases, bends, scratches, or any other problems with the graphics. Our centering from left to right I think is within the tolerance, but our centering from top to bottom is a little bit towards the top. Looking at our corners and our edges, I think they're clean and free of any damage. And Psyduck is going to get a grade of near mint 8. That's not bad, but I would have wished it would have been better. You're looking at a 2000 Pokemon Gym Challenge Misty Seel, a first edition, the number 91 card of the set. The front graphics are free of any scratches, creases, bends, or any other damage. Looking at our centering from left to right is towards the left a little bit. Our centering from top to bottom I think is within the tolerances. Looking at our corners and edges, I do not see any damage that will affect a grade. Flipping the card over, we'll start with the surface of the card. I do not see any damage on it. It is free of any creases, bends, or scratches. Our centering from left to right looks like it's slightly towards the right maybe, and centering from top to bottom maybe slightly towards the top. Looking at the corners and edges, I think they are free of any damage. And we're going to get a grade of near mint 8. I don't think the centering was that far, but oh well. Here's a 2000 Pokemon Gym Challenge Misty's Staryu, a first edition, the number 92 card. Looking at the front of this card, the graphics are bright. The surface is free of any creases, bends, scratches, or any other damage. Our centering from left to right is towards the right a little bit. Is towards the left a little bit. Our centering from top to bottom looks a little towards the bottom, and our corners or edges do not show any damage. The back of the card is free of any creases, bends, scratches, or any other problems with the graphics. Our centering from left to right I think is close to the tolerance or within. Our centering from top to bottom is slightly towards the bottom. Looking at our corners and our edges, both right corners and the lower edge has some slight damage. And that's going to get us a grade of near mint 8. I think that one's actually accurate. We're looking at a 2000 Pokemon Gym Challenge Sabrina's Abra, a first edition, the number 93 card. Looking at the front of this card, it looks really clean. There's no scratches, creases, or bends. Looking at our centering from left to right, I think those are within the tolerance, or maybe a little towards the left. Looking at it from top to bottom, I think those centering is within the tolerance. Looking at the corners and our edges, I do not see any damage. Looking at the back, our centering from left to right is towards the left a little bit. Centering from top to bottom, I think is close to the tolerance. Looking at our surface, I do not see any damage like creases, bends, scratches, or dirt. Looking at our corners and our edges, I think the two lower corners and the lower edge has some very minor specks of damage. And we're going to get a grade of near mint 8. Man, that centering's been hurting us. Check out this 2000 Pokemon Gym Challenge Sabrina's Drowsy, a first edition, the number 95 card. Looking at the front of this card, I like the graphics. The surface is free of any creases, bends, scratches, or dirt. Our centering from left to right, I think, is slightly towards the right. Our centering from top to bottom, I think, is within the tolerance. Looking at our corners and our edges, they are definitely free of any damage. As we gander at the back of the card, our surface is clean, free of any scratches, creases, or bends. Looking at our centering from top to bottom, it looks slightly towards the top, and our centering from left to right, I think, is slightly towards the left. Looking at our corners and our edges, though, I think they're very clean and free of any damage. And the grade they're going to give us is a Mint 10. Wow, that one surprised me. I didn't think it was going to be higher than a 9. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the cards that I presented. Please like and subscribe, and always remember, you got to catch them all. Have an awesome day.